terms of COVID-19. Now, like most of the schools in Angola, since they are overcrowded and the distance cannot maintain in the class, they decided to divide the class in group of 20. And then the teacher has to teach one group today on Monday, and then the second group the same topic tomorrow. Why we are here unemployed? So we came up with suggestions, not only complaints, but we also have suggestions that she must also put in consideration. So like some school in Venaani, they have shifts to say, why can't one group be taught by this teacher and then the other group come in the afternoon? Yeah, that will create job. The aim is to create job. So secondly, in creation of job, I don't think, despite that he's saying there's no money, I don't think it will really affect, since on the perspective of finance, the teacher is supposed to pay tax. Another thing, when we're studying, we have been funded by NSFAF. And 2 years back, NSFAF has been eking out, has been struggling to fund the current student. Why? Because the expenses are high. The outflow is surpasses the inflow. To say, like in my case, maybe 100,000 was spent on me, but nothing that I've repaid back to the NSFAF. There's no circulation of income in the books of NSFAF. Therefore, we suggest that we get job, and then like the Ministry of Health, what they did, they recruited all the unemployed nurses. And the reason that she has been giving is more like hand sanitizing, the infection. But the Ministry of Health, to take an example, it's the one which is spending a lot now in salaries, in hand sanitizers, and in hand sanitize and food as well. The minister, I believe, the Ministry of Education, I believe, it can able to cater our salary, and to add that the tax that you are paying, it's that money is going back in the government coffer, and we are also subjected to repay the funding that we got from NSFAF, so that NSFAF will not be bailed out by the government. So that is the way forward that we propose to the minister to do. And I also want something that you should also table in the parliament, that I see somehow this hand sanitizer that's been advocated. Something should be done, must be audited, because few days back I read something that 10 million was spent on hand sanitizer. You see, it's something fishy should be there. They must be audited. Those books, they must be audited, because maybe it's a way of sucking funds from the government, of draining. So the focus is just more on hand sanitizing, but in face mask, somewhere maybe the supplier of those are benefiting. You see what I'm trying to say? They are benefiting. So another thing, the curriculum. They have removed some subjects, non-promotional subjects like physical education, arts, and religious. Physical education, through that, it's where we get our Frangi Frederick. It's where we get Kachiere. If you can't train the kid to be on the physical domain, where do you expect to get those athletes? And arts is also, we have artists at College of the Arts, and to moral, religious. How do you expect our kids to have moral if you are not teaching them about it? To say they are not being trained on all the domains. So where is quality education that they say they are going to offer? The solution there is just to recruit new teachers that will have shifts. That is how it's going to overcome And lastly, I don't have faith in the current administration of the Minister of Education. And I've been following our head of state. He has been saying that he's not going to tolerate the ministry which is underperforming. This one is obvious. She's putting the nation in poverty. So we are daring the president so that he appoint a new minister who is capable to administer this ministry. And really, this one something else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have listened very attentively. I think MPs have also taken your matters. There are a number of issues that really hurts all of us, and that is the fact that in this country, I've been urging it for a number of years, and it is a result of it, that we don't have skills mapping. See, when you are training people in universities, higher education, vocational training, your country must be able to have a map road saying that every year we need 100 teachers. So we must train 150 teachers every year. Every year our economy would need, say, 70 engineers. Half of them will go to the private sector, half of them, the municipalities must be absorbed. And one of the biggest problems in this country is that we are just allowing people to be trained, and we are saying education is the greatest equalizer. But today education has become the greatest non-equalizers because you graduate to become homeless, your parents spend money to take you to school, you graduate. After graduation, you go into a Kapena Idanga street. And that's a serious problem that this country needs to address. Of course, there are a number of areas where there is some difficulties. The size of the government civil service is probably one of the problems. But I think the ministry's incompetency is very severe. Because I've seen schools in some of the villages, 70 children in one classroom. And then you wonder, what is it that we can do, even on a temporary basis, to have temporary teachers to be able to spread these children? And now, because of COVID-19, I think one classroom is probably equal to 20 or 30 people, nothing more than that. And how do we address that? So we rest assured that your struggle is a struggle of all young people in this country, unemployed graduates. Not so long ago, nearly a fortnight ago, I had a meeting with veterinarians that were left in the street. And when they came to see me a week later, we are seeing that the government is advertising positions. So sometimes it's not that there is no positions, sometimes it's bureaucracy. The people that were refusing to meet them are the very same people that are saying they are going to employ them after they have met me. And it's because, rightly or wrongly so, the ruling party is in shaky grounds. They are realizing they could lose power. So if they don't play governance as a center, a key center of their policy, and they play their corruption and maladministration, they could be out of power. But what is very important is that, yes, we will take these matters to the National Assembly. In fact, I will be instructing the Shadow Minister of Education, who's in the South now, to write a letter to the Minister detailing your sequel and also copying your letters to them so that we know where the ministry stands, so that we receive an answer. If we receive an answer, we will communicate with you, and it will be very good and strategic to call a meeting of all the unemployed teachers somewhere, if it is in Oshana, so that I come and address them. The minute that they see me addressing them, they start getting the political fear. The political fear starts making them work, and if that is the only strategy that is working, let's use it for our benefit, because I will not stand here and waste people's energy and parents' energy to let their children go to school, and for one permanent secretary or two sitting on the hopes of the people of this country. It is very sad to see young people hiking for so many kilometers just to raise a concern. If you are unqualified, I would have said, what are you? You don't have a case. You are qualified people. Yes. So we must listen to the qualified. So why do we take people to school if we can't listen to them? And how do we want to take society into the future without teachers? So I think your case is very, very very relevant. I'm very concerned that the teachers' union are quiet about it.
Yes.
Because NANTU, TUN, these bodies must be the biggest vanguard bodies that drive the agenda of the teacher in this country. So I'll also touch base with some of them, asking them about this issue and their view. But one thing, be rest assured that in the next 2 weeks, I'm just in the field, I might be proceeding to Zambezi. The letter would be drafted by Wednesday next week. We will feed our Shadow Minister of Education to write the letter to the Minister, and every response that we get, we are in contact with you, just as we are in contact with other graduates. The doctors, medical doctors also came to me, the veterinarians, the artists, there are a number of people that are coming through to me to come and ask for assistance and my voice on these matters. So one thing that I want to assure you is that these matters will receive the official opposition's attention. We will table them in the National Assembly. And luckily we are proving to be effective, because when SWAPO hears that people were with Venaani, they start acting. So let them act. They are boycotting me in the region now with the media, they are whatever. But be that as it may, if I get the response that is not satisfactory, I'll be coming to Oshana to address 500 teachers. And if that is the strategy that is going to work, let's do it, let's use it. But one thing is that your matters are, there is reason in the matters that you're raising. It is not fair that you qualify and to be told that you must queue up for one job, 500 people. I mean, it's like what do you call it? It's like an economic punishment. So if you knew that you would have 500 people for one job, why even have an education schools to train people in education? And one of the things that is very important is that we should not overtrain people in the areas that they cannot get jobs. If the need was that we needed to give, even NASA cannot give bursaries without mapping the skills. They must be able to say the country needs 1,000 teachers in the next 5 years. Therefore, we are training 1,200, give and take. But now what they are doing is that the country needs only 100 teachers, they are training 1,000 teachers. Now, whose problem is it? Then they are loaning money for you to study in that field so that you can get a job where. So that there must be a synergy between NASFA, higher education, the labor ministry. These people must have what we call a skill mapping process. That in the economy of Namibia, if we are growing at 7%, how many teachers do we need? If we are growing at 3%, how many engineers do we need? How many technicians, artisans do we need? In every field. Now you are sitting with people trained at vocational training with skills at home. A tender comes in your village, those that have skills don't get the tender. Someone else from China comes and gets the tender. So what was the reason to give me money to go and train me to be an artisan if I cannot get a job to be able to do it? So these are some of the conundrums of a developing state. But I'm very happy that we could meet. I'm very sorry that I didn't know your matter was that urgent. I was thinking you'd be coming to my office to Vindu, or even if you could have requested me to come to Oshana, I would have done it. But I was not made alive that it was so many people. Because then my PA was saying it's many people. I said, is this a serious problem? He said, yes, it's a serious problem. But be that as it may, we will hold you in great trust that this information that you gave us will receive attention. We will write to the Minister of Education. Any information that we get, we report back. If it is not satisfactory, we will come together and design a new strategy. So please go back home knowing that your problem would receive our salient attention without fear of failure.
It's only that
Any question?
I want to emphasize we might be discriminated some way, somehow. We know our people the way they are. So, and sometimes you are, whenever you are raising the points, you are always,
Victimized.
Yes.
Don't be victimized. If the ministry is victimizing you because you came and see me, please give me that information. I will start victimizing you.
And what I want to emphasize is only on the Public Service Commission. That policy have to be relooked at. Because there are things which cannot meet the area of teaching, because we are on the entry level. Therefore, that policy says that the person who can be interviewed, only the person on the promotional level, promotional post, so to say. But when it comes to the entry, so what are you going to interview me for? Because I don't have any experience built on it. I'm a novice. So therefore, we suggest that the PSM, Public Service Commission, so to say, it should be
PSC.
Yeah, it should be looked at, because there are some of the things which cannot really fit us in it. And if they happen to see that they are working according to their Public Service Commission, they must first try to place us, and thereafter they have to go follow their procedure or their policy, simply because the mistake was already done by the ministry themselves. They are the one who letting people to be in the street, because they are the one who did not do the market research on the institution of higher learning. Now in Namibia, we do have different institutions of higher learning offering the same profession as a teaching. We have IOL, we have IUM, we have NAST, we have NANCOL, Lingua, UNAM. There are a lot, but they are only offering the same area. But when it comes to come to the teachers, there are a lot now, but now the ministry is finding difficult for them to circulate them or to put them into, or to absorb them into the system. Therefore, that issue should be also be looked at. And what they did mistake, they also implement the process of this policy of mother tongue. So, for example, if you are in your Kakarara, you can only be able to teach grade 0 to 3 or Chirere only. And if you are here in Kavango region, you can only be able to teach Rukwangari and the Timbuktu. You cannot, if you are not from this region, you cannot be able to teach into those regions when it comes to the junior primary. Same applies to Oceania region. So therefore, they have to look at this issue of mother tongue, because it's also having some discrimination. So we are Namibia, one nation, so we were supposed to be also accommodated into other regions. So actually on this area at junior primary, they must try maybe to do some arrangements whereby a native of such particular area or region can only teach mother tongue, and the other can only teach a particular language. For example, maybe in HOD, and they can also recruit another teacher who cannot be able to speak that language. It makes no sense. Or for example, if I happen to be in Windhoek, I can teach other subject. By then they can give somebody who can be able to teach Afrikaans. Because now if I'm not, I have never did Afrikaans, it will be difficult for me to go teach junior primary 0 to 3 in Commerce region. Simply because of the language.
Just to add to that, I think we have a lot of classes, especially 0 to 3. So we have some that Africans, some not. But we can swipe those subjects. A person who did Africans should be given a chance to teach that Africans. Then I can teach other subjects. Instead of you are qualified, but it's only due to Africans that you didn't do. You are not qualified for them. But you can teach other subjects rather than Africans. So if you already have qualified people that can teach Africans at a certain school, 0 to 3 phase, they should just see a way how to make it. Like to swipe classes, like, okay, find this particular teacher can teach Africans, so can cater for other classes. Then other teachers can just see a way out. Because it's a kind of discrimination, really. There should be a way also there that they can maybe see how, unless there is none, they understand. But if there are 2, 3 people, they are enough for Africans. Then others can take the rest, just to cater for all. That's my point there.
Very good. Hey, my colleagues, do you have anything to add?
No.
None?
No.
Yeah, they have a long journey. And I was made to understand that you need some petrol money and so forth. Okay, that I will be able to assist.